What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. So WrestleMania has a problem with Roman Reigns' title reign. They have a video called WWE needs to end Roman's title reign right now. Not yesterday, right now. They're tired, they're bored, they're exhausted, they're tired of not seeing the title on TV. And I can understand and I can kind of, relate to those sentiments, right? I feel like the title reign at this point has been stale this year. I don't hate it, but I don't love it as much as I did previous years. But I do believe that they're not going to take the title off of him until WrestleMania, right? Because at this point, he's already surpassed some records when it comes to days of holding the title. So why stop now when we could do a little bit more history making on the road to WrestleMania? That's just in my personal opinion. But everything else, I do agree with what people think. I've seen people say things about it online. But let's see what they have to say. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this.
Listen, it's time to end Roman Reigns as undisputed champion. Enough is enough, and there are so many reasons why his run as champ has passed his expiration date.
Okay.
Roman Reigns is said to defend the undisputed championship at Crown Jewel against LA Knight, but a recent report indicates he won't be working at Survivor Series. This makes it highly likely that he won't defend the belt until the Royal Rumble, another ridiculous time without a title defense. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at why it's time for WWE.
He gotta at least do Survivor Series, man. I mean, if he gonna do the Big Four no more title reign, I guess that's okay. But you can't skip Survivor Series, dog. That's crazy.
Be sure to subscribe,
especially since I'm gonna be there,
for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also, check out our new website, WrestleMania.com.
Check out the website, guys. Keep forgetting to skip this part.
Roman Reigns has been world champion for nearly 3.5 years, and so far there appears to be no end in sight for his title reign.
He sounds so depressed.
Is good for business? Well, as we'll see, there are many reasons why it's bad for the WWE, and not to mention its superstars. An early success. Has Roman's current reign as champion been a complete failure? Well, absolutely not. But the longer it's gone on, the more harm it's done to the WWE and its wrestlers than any benefits it's created for Roman and the bloodline. Roman's initial heel turn was well received and well executed as he aligned himself with the brilliant Paul Heyman and eventually coerced his cousins Jey and Jimmy Uso in aligning with him. Roman's first year as champion was an example of how to rehabilitate a group of wrestlers through a strong storyline. And of course, mentioning Roman's rehabilitation. He went from the most blandest babyface and needed a much needed coat of fresh paint. WWE executed it brilliantly as they finally listened. But not only did Roman need a fresh coat of paint, so did the Usos. The Bloodline success was obvious from crowd reactions, ticket sales and merch sales, but the WWE had clearly made the right choice in turning Roman heel and giving him a solid run as champion. It invested time in putting him over and things paid off as Roman became a better talker and, to a less extent, a much better wrestler. Although maybe his heel turn hid his shortcomings. Is Roman Reigns a draw without a championship?
That's a good question right there.
Enjoying a mega push, but how would he do without his world championship? Would he still be the major draw fans think he is? If not, why is the WWE keeping the belt on him? What's the WWE's endgame, and why is it essential that Roman keep the belt around his waist even as his appearances become more and more rare? Even rare to the fact that his match at Crown Jewel this Saturday will be his last match of 2023, or at least that's what's been reported from Ringside News, which states Ringside News was told by a tenured member of the creative team that unless something changes, Crown Jewel on November 4th will be the last time Roman Reigns will wrestle in 2023. He has one match against LA Knight, and he won't wrestle again until 2020.
Yeah, you guys know how I feel about this stuff. You guys know how I feel about these outlets, okay? Even though this could be true. But guys, we hear the same stuff over and over and over. Roman Reigns is taking some time away. CM Punk is returning. Vince McMahon is leaving WWE permanently. They do those same 3 stories and they cycle them over and over and over and over, and nothing of that happens. Ever. It never happens. You know what it is? The thing is that we hear these rumors and things like that all the time, but guess what we never do? We never hear it coming directly from the person. Ever. So, I can't take this seriously at all. Now, the question about whether he can do it without a championship belt is an interesting question because I asked that question about most people in WWE, specifically Roman Reigns, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, the list goes, especially Charlotte Flair. The list, there's a list that goes on, which is why I respect certain wrestlers a little bit more. Not that I don't respect people like Bianca Belair, they're fantastic in the ring. But there's people like Becky Lynch. Like I keep bringing this up. Last year, excluding her NXT title run this year, excluding her tag team championship that she had this year as well, she's been able to have matches that felt bigger than what they were without a title. So the challenge for these ladies and people like Roman Reigns, the ladies that I mentioned, Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair, how can they have a great story, have some great moments, some great matches that do not involve a title at all? We just saw what happened at Halloween Havoc, at least for the first days, especially, that there were ladies who had matches that had nothing to do with titles, and they were still able to put on some pretty good to really good matches, in my personal opinion. So can these ladies on the main roster pull something like that off without being anywhere around the title? And Roman Reigns, what happens when he drops the title? Does he quit WWE, or what is it? Because it felt like they built him so bigger than life. I don't even know what the next step will be. But I also kind of felt like that way about Brock Lesnar a little bit, but not on the magnitude of Roman Reigns. But what do you guys think? Let me know.
24. But as much as the WWE's building Reigns up as the greatest wrestler in the modern era, it's a baseless claim. As we'll see, Roman has done little to fulfill the traditional roles of a world champion. They can boast about his many accolades, most of which are a work, but if he doesn't fulfill a champion's role, his laurels are meaningless, as the WWE loses its perspective. As Reigns continued his run with the Universal Championship, the WWE has begun to lose sight of what a world champion's role is. It's to sell tickets, increase ratings, build up a champion's prestige, and to put over opponents. You can argue that Reigns moved the needle with tickets and ratings, but he's done little to elevate the World Championship or his opponents. Let's look at some examples. First, the ratings and merchandise. When it comes to ticket sales and ratings, the conventional wisdom is that Roman has helped raise ratings on SmackDown and the WWE's PLEs. Some Roman supporters believed he was instrumental in the WWE's record revenue. His merch has sold well, and at one point, Bloodline merchandise was a top seller. However, just how much has Reigns increased the ratings and ticket sales? The WWE is a strong product for the last year and a half. As for WWE's overall revenue, how much of their success is due to the demand for live events after the pandemic and the overall success of WWE over the last year?
Yeah, come on, man. Come on, man.
As fans have seen, Roman's limited schedule means he rarely appears at house shows, and his PLE schedule is much more limited. If Roman plays such a big role in WWE's success, why are they doing so well when he doesn't appear? He's also failed to elevate the
all right, man. All right, okay. I'm not here to defend his title reign. I feel like that, again, I feel like it's still, but I feel like WrestleMania is kind of reaching here. You can't say just because he's not there. When WWE was not doing well, the best thing that was going on in that moment was things revolving around Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. A historic storyline. We will all agree with it. Even if everything around it was terrible, the very least, some people came back to watching WWE simply because of the Roman Reigns, a part of the Bloodline storyline in itself. So I feel like WrestleMania at this point is trying to take that away from Roman Reigns, right? I feel like that Roman Reigns is so big that I think it's a testament to say that he doesn't have to be there so much in order to influence or garner more ticket sales and to move the needle as much as a person who has to be there every day to do that, right? Like, what if you're owning a company and a person that works there every day barely gives you any revenue, but this person comes in one day out of the entire month and boosts your sales, right? So that says more about that person that comes one day than the person who's there every single day. So I think WrestleMania is kind of trying to take that away from Roman Reigns, which I don't think is fair. It just sounds like it's a little bit of hate in there. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Championship. A long run with the championship is a good way to elevate both a wrestler and a title. Where things fall apart was when the WWE had Roman unify his Universal Championship with the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 38. It was classic hotshot booking, and the end result was that the WWE deprived the fans of Raw of seeing World Championship matches. SmackDown fans fared little better after Roman negotiated an even more limited schedule. While fans have heard about possible scenarios for Roman dropping his title or splitting up the Universal and WWE Championship, nothing has come about. Instead, the WWE had to create a new World Championship in order to give fans on Raw just even a chance to see a World Champion. This was unnecessary, and it devalued the new championship as it looked like a consolation prize for Raw.
I get that.
Roman hasn't elevated the championship, so what about elevating his opponent?
Okay. Really quick, guys. So, I agree with that secondary title. I think everybody agreed with it when it came out. Although I still love that belt. We all agree that it just felt like it was a consolation prize because they weren't going to take that title from Roman Reigns, and they still haven't to this day. So it is what it is. But I mean, at the end of the day, guys, like, I think Brock Lesnar having this Floyd Mayweather-esque schedule to where the fact that they're not there and they're holding the title kind of helps garner more hate. Do I think it's the best way to do it? Absolutely not. I don't think it's the best way to do it in way, thinking about the requirements of having to defend the title every 30 days. Obviously, Rhea Ripley had a dip of that too as well. But I think for advertisement, for these big moments and big events, I think him not being around as much like Brock Lesnar did, people like at the point where they can't wait for someone to take the title off of it. Every time they have an opponent, Roman Reigns has an opponent, it boosts that opponent up just from just being in the match. Just from being in the match alone. They don't even have to have the most amazing match that Roman Reigns has ever had, but just the fact that they're involved and maybe someone that everyone likes, they're like, oh, this person might be the person in it, just like people did when they watched Floyd Mayweather. Whenever they got into it, they may not even know the boxer who's facing Floyd Mayweather, but they will watch it and people will convince them in their head, like, dope, they have these many things, they have these many wins. Technically, they're southpaw and Floyd Mayweather's this. Like, they convince them, and then people pay to watch that person lose. And I think that is what Roman Reigns brings to the table. Is it the best thing in the world? It's not, but it works as far as selling merch and moving the needle. Again, I'm not here to defend Roman Reigns, but I think WrestleMania could be kind of reaching with some of this stuff.
One of the traditional roles of a world champion was to elevate opponents, either by losing to them or making them look strong in defeat. And you guys think of many, or any for that matter, wrestlers Roman has elevated during his long run? He certainly buried wrestlers, such as when he pinned both Edge and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 37,
that.
Roman's opponents emerged looking stronger than before they even wrestled him. Does the WWE have any plans who will take the belt off him? It's hard to believe, as the company has many good opportunities for a wrestler to dethrone him. It's understandable that the WWE wanted to elevate Reigns by giving him a lengthy championship, but after he unified the two world titles, the promotion should have chosen an opponent to dethrone him, whether it was Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle, Sami Zayn Elimination Chamber, or arguably Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39. One thing's for sure, WWE is treading on...
Okay, guys, I'm sorry, I keep stopping this, but here's the thing. We can say Jey Uso was elevated after having that match against him. The fact that he possibly could have won that match and we saw what happened in order for him to lose, it boosted Jey up a lot. This match with LA Knight could boost him a lot. You can't boost up Cody Rhodes. People already are high on Cody Rhodes to begin with. If you watch Cody Rhodes his entire career, we've already known it. And then the other thing was Sami Zayn. Like I said, sometimes for people, just being involved in the match or even in the feud with them makes this person bigger. We all remember Sami Zayn from NXT, but for people who didn't watch him in NXT, who didn't know who he was when they had him coming out with the IC Championship belt, and a lot of people didn't really care. This whole storyline of him being involved with the Bloodline, which we can kind of give all the credit to the story itself, but also having this back and forth with Roman Reigns and having that match at Elimination Chamber, it did help Sami Zayn. It did. The match itself, maybe it didn't. But I think WrestleMania is trying to put a lot more responsibility on Roman Reigns that they give to other champions when his situation is very unorthodox. It's not the normal run-of-the-mill championship run, which, could be a good thing or could be a bad thing, depending on what you expect out of your champion. So I think it's just weird, man. I don't know.
Nice. Even if the WWE finally picks a winner, it'll probably be at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I agree.
The WWE is pushing its luck. One of the biggest dangers with Reigns' extended championship is the chance that he'll get injured or have a relapse of his leukemia, which we hope would never.
WrestleMania, why? Why would you even bring that up? Like, any champion can get injured. We saw it happen with Finn Balor when he was the first person to get the Universal Championship belt. We saw what happened. Anybody can get injured at any moment. In fact, this guy is wrestling like 5 matches a year. So what's the probability of him getting injured more than a person who has the belt and wrestling house shows and regular shows and live TV shows and things like that? Who has the more probability of being hurt? And the idea that, the fact of his leukemia coming back, like, why would you even put that out there? Like, why is that even a thought? I know it's a reality, but it's just like, why? It feels like they're just reaching at this point. Oh, here's another reason why he shouldn't have it. Let's just say that you don't like WrestleMania. Just say you don't like the title reign. You don't want him to have it, and just move on. These reasons sound like weird. Okay, like, why bring up the leukemia thing? That's just really messed up. In my personal opinion, that's just me. Maybe I'm thinking too much into that part. But speaking of the leukemia thing, I never thought about it coming back, but part of me at one point thought about the fact, like, wait, maybe the effects of it probably did something to where he can't recover as fast from, like, you know, because like wrestling on a mat is brutal, it's gruesome, like hitting your body on a mat, wrestling matches back to back and things like that. Maybe there is something going on with that. Maybe it's doing a lot of wear and tear to his body where he can't recover as much. Maybe that can play into why he isn't on TV as much. Or it could just because of booking. It could be either or. We really don't know. I don't speak to him. No one speaks to anyone else. But again, don't use the leukemia thing as an excuse to why you don't want the title on him, man. Because the leukemia thing did not matter when they were having the best storyline of all time with the bloodline. It didn't matter. No one thought like, oh, we should end the bloodline storyline because it's leukemia. But now all of a sudden that you're tired of his title run, let's bring up let's bring up his cancer. Like, come on, man. That's just ridiculous.
WrestleMania. If so, the WWE is pushing its luck. One of the biggest dangers with Reigns' extended championship is the chance that he'll get injured or have a relapse of his leukemia, which we hope would never happen. But if Reigns is incapacitated for a lengthy period, how will WWE handle things? What if he can't return to wrestling? The WWE will have ruined the opportunity for Roman to pass the torch simply because it thought a long reign is all that's necessary to establish a legacy.
That's ridiculous, bro. We all seen it. WWE doesn't mind taking the title off of him if leukemia becomes a problem. We saw it live on TV. What are they talking about?
Meaningless. A Roman's title reign has become meaningless due to its longevity and Reigns' inability to fulfill any of the roles of a world champion. The WWE can keep the title around his waist for the next 5 years and he'll still pale in comparison to the many champions who preceded him. The worst thing yet is that in order for Roman Reigns to even pass Hulk Hogan's World Championship reign, he will have to have the belt at WrestleMania 40.
Of course, yeah.
We believe in all essence that WWE will keep the belt around him until WrestleMania 40 as they want him at least in the top 1 or 2 of the longest reigning world champions of all time. Has it become convoluted? We've already examined the many reasons why Roman's reign needs to end, but there is another. One of the biggest reasons Reigns should drop the title is that his matches have become convoluted. Reigns is a fearsome looking opponent and he's been depicted that way ever since he debuted with the Shield. However, the way he retains his title defies believability. As we pointed out many times, his matches are predictable thanks to Roman relying on the same bag of tricks of low blows, referee bumps, and of course, outside interference from the bloodline. Here the problem is that WWE doesn't know how to think outside the box, which is why Roman's matches have become very predictable. So how do they make the right decision? Well, the WWE have a chance to solve its Roman Reigns problem by putting the belt on LA Knight at Crown Jewel. As heavily unlikely as that seems, it would give Roman time off and give the WWE time to determine Roman's next role in the WWE. However, it's unlikely to happen, and the longer Roman wears the belt, arguably the less it will mean when he finally drops it, as fans have just been sick of the reign, and many fans may have turned away from the product at that time. Do you guys agree with WWE?
I don't think anyone's gonna. Here's the thing: I don't think anyone's gonna turn away from the product. If Roman Reigns' title reign is what causes you to turn away from watching WWE, I hate to be those people who say that. I don't think you were really a fan of the product. You probably just a fan of the individual. It's like someone having their favorite team, and then once this one player leaves, they don't like the team anymore. Because there's so much stuff going on in WWE right now that you can pick from that you can say are heading in a positive direction. You know, you got DIY coming back. You got Io Sky as a champion. You got Seth Rollins as the World Heavyweight Champion, who possibly is going to pass it on to Drew McIntyre. You got Walter. He is, I think, at this point, one of the longest IC champions of all time. You got actual celebrities coming in who are actually good at wrestling in Bad Bunny and in Logan Paul. There's so much stuff that's happening here that you can be excited about outside of just Roman Reigns. And it's I don't know. I'm hoping that my reaction to this video isn't negative. This is not a negative channel. I'm not typically like that, but I just feel like it's just, I don't know. For some reason, bringing up the whole leukemia thing is just like, bro, like, why bring that up, man? There's so many wrestlers right nowadays that's dealing with diabetes. He's been wrestling, and diabetes can cause a lot of complications. And so many other wrestlers that have diseases. I don't want to call them all out, but I don't know. That is just weird to me. But what do you guys think? I agree with the overall premise. They need to do something to not make this feel like it's getting more stale than what it actually is, or try and change something up. It would be cool if Roman Reigns all of a sudden was like, you know what? For the next how many days until WrestleMania, I'm gonna be a more involved champion. I'm gonna have more matches. just to kind of like, you know, shut some people up. You know, maybe that'll be cool, but I don't feel like they'll ever go in that direction. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that they're right about the stuff they're saying? And even if you agree with them and you don't agree with me, I don't mind. Everybody has their own opinion. That's the beauty of life. Everybody has their own thoughts. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Salute. Peace. Have a good day.